tonight, a systemic sexual misconduct problem within Ottawa's police service.
Seeing a woman at a coffee shop, coming out of a gym, driving next to them, getting their license plates and running them on the system.
Turning police databases into a way to meet women, one of the issues cited by Ottawa's own chief.
Change your behavior now or quit.
Who sent an internal video to members with a tough and challenging message. Feeling scared and desperate.
Where will these people, because they're human beings, go if this care facility closes?
Families react after receiving notice of the pending closure of a home care facility, why they say the vulnerable residents will have few options. And some promising new numbers around opioid deaths.
We do anticipate more overdoses. I have seen people overdose here in the past.
But will recent changes in Ontario reverse the trend? Good evening. We begin tonight with a stark message from Ottawa's police chief to members of the service. In an internal video provided to CTV Ottawa today, he warns some officers need to change their behavior or quit. This comes after a string of sexual misconduct investigations within the workforce. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now with more on this, Josh.
Yeah, Patricia, the 7-minute-long video was sent to members last month. Chief Eric Stubbs acknowledges what he calls a pattern of behavior within the service and warns officers that misconduct toward women will no longer be tolerated.
I want to have a serious and an uncomfortable conversation with all of you.
The message from Ottawa's police chief, Eric Stubbs, is clear.
Change your behavior now or quit. Leave.
In an internal video obtained by CTV News Ottawa, Stubbs acknowledges and calls out sexual misconduct within the Ottawa Police Service, which he says has been ignored for too long and needs to be confronted head-on.
This is not about an isolated incident. It's about a pattern of behavior that we've seen in the last few years, and it has to shift quickly in the other direction.
The chief outlining several examples, including officers allegedly using police databases to obtain information about women they encounter in public.
Externally, members are using our databases as their own way to meet women. Seeing a woman at a coffee shop, coming out of a gym, driving next to them, getting their license plates and running them on the system. We've seen members messaging vulnerable victims on calls that they've attended in an attempt to develop an intimate relationship.
The comments follow several recent incidents involving Ottawa police members, including an officer charged in an intimate partner violence investigation and another demoted for improperly accessing police databases.
This is a coordinated, systematic targeting of women. It's really predatory, and it is extremely dangerous. We are not safe.
Advocates say more action is needed to address the issue.
It's good that they're acknowledging it, but they need to go a step further. Survivors, women, are currently not safe in this system.
The chief says members must decide whether they'll be allies who speak up or a part of the problem by remaining silent when misconduct occurs.
We believe there is a clear need for OPS leadership to acknowledge that this issue remains present and to speak openly about it. Silence or minimization only allows the behavior to continue. End of quote.
Stubbs says a letter from women within the service was sent to senior leadership, saying sexual misconduct has been too often ignored, tolerated, and in some cases celebrated. The chief is expected to provide an update to the board next week on steps being taken to strengthen prevention, reporting, and accountability and workplace culture within the service. Patricia.
CTV's Josh Morano live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, as many schools celebrate Pride Month, one elementary school in the Glebe has canceled a drag queen story time event that was supposed to take place this week. The performer says it's because of pushback from parents. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with more on this. Katie.
Patricia, some parents I spoke with today who didn't want to be on camera say their kids at the school, which goes from kindergarten to grade 6, are just too young. In an email to parents on June 1st, the school announced Adriana Expose, seen here reading to kids in Ottawa, would read a book chosen by their child's teacher that focuses on love and celebrating differences. But late last week, another email said the event raised questions about curricular alignment and wouldn't go ahead. The performer says it was because of parental pushback. Faye Johnstone is the executive director of Queer Momentum. She calls the decision disappointing.
Drag Story Hour at its core is somebody dressed up in a cool costume reading a wholesome and powerful book that includes lessons that kids deserve to learn. Parents who are concerned deserve to be heard. And I actually think if we were to have a conversation with those parents, if they would actually meet a drag performer and see the really lovely energy that comes out of these events, I imagine they might actually feel differently.
The school says it continues to support and direct efforts to integrate the core themes of acceptance, diversity, and belonging directly into daily practice and reinforce the values consistently throughout the school year in alignment with the Ontario curriculum. And we've reached out to the Ottawa Carleton District School Board for comment multiple times since Saturday and have not heard back. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. Thank you.
Welcome.
Still ahead, Petawawa Prep. We get up close to some of the incredible training exercises involving soldiers from Garrison Petawawa as they prepare for a new stage of combat readiness. That story coming up.
Well, families are speaking out tonight about the upcoming closure of a local care facility that houses some of the city's most vulnerable residents who cannot live on their own. Edgewood Care Centre, which is located on Stevens Avenue in Vanier, says it will be shutting down at the end of September. CTV's Kimberly Johnson is joining us in studio with the details on this. Kimberly.
Patricia, the home cares for people who have severe challenges, both mental health issues and physical disabilities. They are unable to live on their own. Their families say it's the best place for their specific needs and are concerned they will have nowhere else to go.
Has made the very difficult decision to close operations, cease operations.
A letter that would turn Bonnie Ashford's world upside down.
Of course, is devastating.
Edgewood Care Centre, the facility her son Grant has lived in for 29 years, says that it has made the difficult decision to cease operations and will close at the end of September.
This is a picture of my son before his health started declining a lot around 2010-11.
The facility houses more than 100 residents who have severe mental and physical challenges and can't live independently. Grant has been here since he was 19 years old. Now in his 50s, it's the only care facility he's ever known. She says with her own health challenges, she's not able to provide the constant care that he needs and isn't sure where he will be able to go.
Grant is just not talking a lot. I stopped in there a couple of days ago and I can't even get him on the phone since.
In the letter sent to residents last Tuesday, Edgewood says the existing building is old and requires upgrades that made its continued use impossible. It also says that the company tried to find a buyer but could not.
They're adults, men and women, struggling just to live each day, but they have each other to lean on.
CTV News has reached out to Edgewood Care Centre multiple times for comment, but has not heard back.
I can't provide what he needs.
The facility says that it will help residents find a new home, but Kim Barrio, whose brother lives at Edgewood, says that will be difficult.
Will they be out on the streets? So I'm concerned. To lose my brother would be devastating, and for anybody to lose a child or a sibling or somebody they know is disastrous.
Ashford says that she has not heard from Edgewood officials since the letter was sent.
I'm speaking out because my son doesn't have any other advocate.
As mentioned, we did not hear back from Edgewood before airtime. The letter also says government officials will be helping with relocation. Patricia?
CTV's Kimberly Johnson live for us tonight. Thank you. We want to take a live look now through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is 17 degrees out there in Ottawa today. Not terribly warm, but not bad either, considering some of the wet weather we have had. Jackie, would you characterize this weather today from the balcony as pleasant?
I would say pleasant, given that there was no rain today, Patricia. Much cooler, too. We are live here from the Capitol Barbecue patio. And a look at the forecast for the rest of the week. Likely going to not see sunshine for quite some time, or that humidity. Take a look at temperatures right now. 17, not just here in Ottawa, but really throughout eastern Ontario. And not much in terms of humidity either. Now, feeling like maybe a degree or two warmer, but again, not much difference. As we look to our overnight, 10 degrees. Clear skies is in store, so that's the good news. But the clouds will return tomorrow. In the afternoon, there is a chance that we could see some rain, a slim chance that we could see some rain, and perhaps at the risk of thunderstorm as well. 24, the anticipated daytime high. The afternoon will be quite windy as well. So you can see clear skies for Tuesday morning. The clouds will start to make its way to the region in the afternoon. You can see that little radar or that weather system moving through Bancroft. Hopefully, it clears by the time it gets to parts of eastern Ontario, but we are keeping a very close eye on this. We'll get a closer look at your long-term forecast. And yes, I mentioned it, rain is on the way for what will be the rest of the week. Those details and more in just a bit.
Well, new data shows opioid-related deaths are down across Canada, but there is concern this trend may not last long after the province forced the remaining supervised consumption sites to shut down over the weekend, including 2 here in Ottawa. According to the federal government, opioid-related deaths were down 23% in 2025, while hospitalizations were also down 12%. CTV's Leah Larocque joins us now with more. Leah.
Patricia, Ottawa's top doctor is speaking at the Board of Health right now. Dr. Arneson says this is an important and challenging moment for our community. He expects municipal services like paramedics to be strained and says OPH is working with frontline task forces to find solutions.
For many like Mark, supervised consumption sites can make all the difference.
It's a very, very good thing. I mean, it's like having an angel watch over your shoulder. Now, devil's knocking on the door.
Over the weekend, the last 2 sites in the city shut their doors for good, and anxiety is growing.
It's a darn shame, and there's going to be a lot more ambulances running around.
The Ottawa Mission says they would see about 3 overdoses a week, but are now preparing for that number to go up.
It's really unfortunate that we have to remain so vigilant, but we want our clients to survive.
The Ottawa Mission says more staff, not just those on the front line, are receiving specialized naloxone training to help reverse the effects of an overdose.
I have seen people overdose here in the past. It's usually been frontline staff who's revived them, but now with the increased possibility of overdoses, I feel more confident that I can respond appropriately.
The province now investing $560 million in 29 homeless and addiction recovery treatment hubs across Ontario, replacing what they call the failed approach of drug injection sites.
Now everybody's going everywhere in different places. They're sitting on the corner, they can do it. And it doesn't matter if they pass out, if they overdose, who knows.
The federal government says opioid deaths were down last year across Canada, but it isn't up to them to reopen supervised consumption sites.
But if a province doesn't want to move forward with the safe consumption site, I cannot force them.
Even Canada's top public health officer says it's hard to predict what could happen.
Supervised consumption remains one important tool, along with prevention, along with naloxone distribution and other harm reduction, along with treatment. And I want to see all of those remaining available to people who require services.
Dr. Arneson says it is a rapidly changing situation on the ground, but along with public health partners, he is hoping to provide a clear picture by September on the impacts on the health system, city services, and of course, individuals in our community. Patricia.
CTV's Leah Larocque live for us tonight. Thank you. And we do have extended coverage of the supervised consumption site closures here in the capital. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. A man in his 50s seriously injured in a crash near the Carlingwood Shopping Centre yesterday has died of his injuries. The collision happened at Carling Avenue near Fairlawn Avenue just after 8 o'clock last evening and involved a scooter and a vehicle. The man who was riding the scooter was taken to hospital with serious injuries. According to a family member, he died this afternoon. Police have not laid any charges. To Toronto now, where a 12-year-old boy is facing an attempted murder charge after allegedly hitting a Toronto police officer with a car. Police were called around 1:30 a.m. after receiving a report of a stolen vehicle. Ontario's police watchdog says officers attempted to stop the car when the 12-year-old driver allegedly fled the scene and struck one of them. An officer shot at the vehicle multiple times. The SIU says it's not clear whether the officer fired at the car before or after he was hit.
The focus of the SIU investigation really is the discharge of firearm by the police officer and the collision behind me. So there's a collision reconstructionist that's here right now looking at that. and we'll be closely examining the nature of the contact with the vehicle with the police officer, and also collecting the projectiles, that sort of thing, and then mapping out sort of what happened.
Both the officer and the boy were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The officer has since been released. It's not clear if the boy was shot. Well, residents living in Ottawa's South End are getting the chance to weigh in on truck traffic in that part of the city and potential future routes through Barrhaven, Manotick and Riverside South. CTV Stefan Keys joins us in studio with more on this, Steph.
Patricia, the city is taking a closer look at the routes transport trucks use to travel in Ottawa's South End. And tonight, we are learning more about this study as the first public information session is taking place in Manotick. Around 1,000 trucks travel through Manotick every day, and that is something residents have raised concerns about for years. They say the trucks make some streets in the community unsafe and want the routes changed.
The city is putting public safety second and seems to be taking trucks and truck network first. The public safety is supposed to be the priority of the city. The mayor currently is campaigning on public safety as a major part of his campaign, and they really need to walk the talk and show that they really care about public safety.
Some say the trucks should be rerouted from Manotick to Riverside South across the Vimy Memorial Bridge, but the councillor for that area says that would cause more congestion and put pressure on their local roads. Tonight's information session is taking place at St. Mark High School in Manotick until 8:30 p.m. There will be another drop-in session Wednesday at Rideau Community Centre in Riverside South and one next Wednesday night at the Salvation Army's Barrhaven Church and Community Centre. Patricia.
It has been a contentious discussion for decades. All right, CTV Stefan Keys live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, the U.S. and Iran have reached a new ceasefire deal, which could potentially lead to an end of the war in Iran. Speaking at the G7 meeting in France today, President Trump said the agreement will be signed on Friday.
I think a lot of great things are going to happen in the Middle East right now. And very importantly, the oil is plummeting down and the stock market is shooting up like a rocket today.
Trump says the Strait of Hormuz will reopen after the deal is signed. CTV's Adrian Gobriel has more on how that could impact the global economy and gas prices here at home.
Months of pain at the pumps has left many fuming, hoping for a break. The peace deal between the United States and Iran has yet to be signed, the details yet to be released, though global oil prices are responding. The international standard for the price of oil, Brent crude, fell nearly 5% to just over $83 US this morning. That's still a way off from $70 a barrel, the approximate cost of Brent crude in the weeks leading up to the war in Iran.
The new normal, so to speak, for the oil market is much, much different than what is 3 or 4 months ago. We think that $80 is going to serve as the approximate floor.
While the price for consumers fluctuates from province to province, the national average at the pumps today in Canada is roughly $1.65 per litre. A year ago today, it was hovering at $1.35 per litre. And it could be months before Canadians catch a meaningful break.
We're going to be stuck for the next year, maybe even 2 years, with unusually high prices. Don't look for $1.30 at the pumps anytime soon, even with the federal government giving off a 10-cent excise tax break. We'll be lucky we can stay in the $1.50 range for the remainder of 2026.
Depleted oil reserves need to be replenished. That takes time. There's multiple other variables still at play. Iran's foreign ministry today saying they plan to charge a service fee to vessels using the Strait of Hormuz. The price tag remains unclear. And while ships are expected to begin leaving the strait in the days ahead, what's needed most is for more to arrive.
Until ships are willing to enter in and unload onshore storage, we will continue to lose 11-ish million barrels per day of production every single day.
As long as prices remain elevated here at the pumps, so will the overall cost of living for Canadians, from the price at the grocery store, interest rates, to inflation. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the ceasefire agreement. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel. Ottawa residents will be paying more to turn the lights on this year. The Ontario Energy Board has approved Hydro Ottawa's plan to raise distribution rates by $5.87 a month in 2026. The increase is retroactive to January 1st, which means an extra $1.80 will be added to monthly bills until May 31st of next year. And tremendous video as we get an inside look at some of the military training happening in the valley as soldiers based in Petawawa get combat ready. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. Cloudy skies for this evening and some cool winds as well. So if you are out and about, you might want to bring a light jacket with you to enjoy this evening. Here's what we can expect for tomorrow. Mostly cloudy to start our day off. 13 degrees as well. It will warm up to about 23 degrees, but those wind gusts are going to be quite strong for the afternoon. And here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. 17 degrees out downtown Ottawa, showcasing Parliament Hill and Chateau Laurier.
Ottawa is always on the move.
We're a big city
with a laid-back vibe,
where foodies love their sweets
and markets bursting with flavor,
wrapped up in waterways
and hot summer days.
This is a city where culture is on display.
And the future
meets the past,
where people come together.
Always proud,
often loud,
and positively the best place to live.
We move with you, Ottawa!
Well, taking a look at the roads on your Monday drive home. For the most part, things are moving well out there. We are seeing some slowdowns. It's going to slow you down a little on the eastbound Queensway at Parkdale, again at Greenbank, Pinecrest area, and westbound at Woodruff, seeing some slowdowns as well. Well, soldiers at Garrison Petawawa are completing the final steps of their preparation this summer before being put on alert for combat readiness. Infantry and pilots at CFB Petawawa, which is home to the Royal Canadian Air Force's Chinook helicopters, recently took part in a training scenario in our region. CTV's Dylan Dyson gives us a first-hand look.
Flown into unknown enemy territory, this training is as real as it gets for Armed Forces members from CFB Petawawa. This abandoned sawmill in Quebec's Pontiac region has been staged as a real-life, modern-day combat scenario. Canadian air and ground forces have been tasked with clearing and reclaiming the area from enemy forces.
This is very realistic. We have 3 times autonomous systems in the air, varying sizes of drones, and that's really the biggest thing that the Canadian Army has started to integrate training. We now have drones at the company level. The Air Force has drones accompanying them as well. In their operations, and that's really what we're seeing around the world. If you're not training with drones, then you're probably not relevant anymore.
This training also crucial for Griffin and Chinook helicopter pilots who are learning to plan and execute tactical aviation missions.
We had approximately a month in the field in the fall. We spent another month in the Arctic in February, and now we just finished 5 weeks of training that really focused on patrolling and trench warfare, which is obviously something that we've seen a huge comeback in modern-day battlefields.
All this critical as Petawawa's 3rd Battalion of the Royal Canadian Regiment prepares to move into its readiness stage, where military members are put on 7 days' notice to move anywhere in the world and 10 days' notice to effect any mission.
We are moving into a task, the Global Response Task Force, September 1st of this year, where we become Canada's 911 call to deal with any global emergencies. So this is excellent, very valuable training for that mission that we start.
Certainly, the training has evolved over the last decade plus since the Afghanistan years, and now we're training for a much different battle space in terms of the type of opposing forces that we might come against.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, Petawawa.
Wild. Well, after a stretch of hot and humid weather, things have certainly cooled down in this region. Temperatures reached a high of 18 degrees today, a stark contrast to the 30-degree temperatures of recent days. It was mostly cloudy throughout the day, and there are some showers in the forecast for this week. As we take a full look at our weather forecast, back up to the balcony, and Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. Yeah, left the umbrella at home, but I wish I brought the jacket. I see a lot of people with some long sleeves. So we all got used to that humidity and warm temperatures as well. Temperatures right now, we are sitting at about 17 degrees. Didn't quite make that 20-degree temperature. Sundown expected for 8:53 this evening. Still time to enjoy a walk because we're not anticipating rain for this evening. Tonight's lows about 10 degrees here in the capital. Brockville 10 degrees as well. Kingston 11. Bancroft, though, you could already see that cool down happening significantly well below seasonal at 5 degrees. And as we look towards other parts of the region, 13 in Montreal. We did mention the clear skies moving through. The good news is we will see some sunshine tomorrow morning. However, parts of the region, including Ottawa, Pembroke, Bancroft, could see a band of rain moving in. But for the most part, temperatures sitting around 22, 24 degrees. Kemptville, as well as along the Seaway, anticipating mainly clear and sunny skies. Now, taking a look at the next couple of days, Tuesday, you can see that isolated showers moving in. A lot of it is focused around Peterborough and Bancroft. Hopefully, it will clear by the time it gets to the eastern Ontario and including the valley. Again, light chance that we could see some showers moving in Wednesday morning for Ottawa. Really in the afternoon, though, is that we can anticipate more rain and isolated showers moving through much of the region, including in Pembroke and Renfrew. We are paying attention to this. It won't be until Thursday, though, that we will definitely see lots of rain moving through. More on that in just a bit. Take a look at Atlantic Canada right now. 18 in Fredericton, 14 in Halifax. A cool down really affecting most of this side of the country. You could even see Quebec, much cooler temperatures as well compared to last week. 18 for not just Quebec City, but here in Ottawa, Sudbury, as well as Timmins. 21 in Thunder Bay. We've got some rain moving in as well, where there is a slight warm up around Calgary and Edmonton at 24 degrees. It is quite the significant change that we have seen compared to last week. Now here's a look at your 7-day forecast, brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Center, celebrating over 80 years in family business. 24 the anticipated daytime high for our Tuesday. Again, there's a slim chance that we could see some showers in the middle of the afternoon, closer to 2, 3 o'clock. Should clear out for Tuesday night. Wednesday, though, there is a slight chance that we could see more rain moving through periodically throughout the day. By Thursday, though, yes, 10 to 15 millimeters of rain anticipated. That's what the early forecast is showing. But you can see these temperatures much cooler, much more manageable than what we saw last week. We are averaging about 22, 23 degrees for the remainder of the week. So, Patricia, bring out that umbrella. Given the cooler winds and cooler evenings that we have felt today, it's going to be much windier tomorrow. So I would suggest bringing a light jacket or even a light sweater as well, because we're going to say goodbye to the humidity for at least this week.
I was talking to a lovely couple from the UK while I was on vacation, and they said one of the things that surprised them about Canadian weather is how changeable it is, up and down and all over the place. And you're tracking it all for us, Jackie. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I certainly have to stuff a lot in my stroller, so I will definitely be using them to put some of our trash away.
Picking up the poop and parking the waste of all kinds where it belongs. That story coming up.
CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
It's just a pretty good deal, no matches about.
Now oh, goodness me. What a fine strike that is.
Ottawa Rapid FC up against Vancouver Rise in BC yesterday. Ottawa opened the scoring 27 minutes into the game, managed to put 2 more into the net. The final 3-1 for Rapid FC. They play next at home on June 21st against Toronto. Ottawa's parks are busy with the official start of summer just days away, and this year more spots will have not just garbage bins but also compost and recycling as the city expands a waste collection pilot project. Here's CTV's Camille Wilson.
Emma LeBron walks her dog through Bear Brook Park in Blackburn Hamlet almost every day and is doing her part to keep it clean.
I live in this area and I often see poop left on the ground, and it's a bit shameful, you know, because flies get around there, it ruins the atmosphere for everybody else. Leaves a little stinky.
She's using the newly installed waste bins for garbage, compost, and recycling.
I hope it'll make the park a bit cleaner.
We have noticed the new bins, waste bins, everything helps.
I do say occasionally bits of trash here, but mostly it's pretty clean.
The bins have been installed in various parks across the city over the past several years as part of a pilot project, which is now expanding.
I think with this park in particular, it is very busy. It's the only park in my ward that actually has a pool. It's between two schools, people will come and picnic here. We've got a play structure, a ball diamond, you name it, we've got it. And the thing is that people will have to find places to put their litter.
This year, the waste bins will be installed in 48 new parks.
I'm a huge fan of this program. I've really wanted to see it expanded over many years. I know that by 2029, the city's looking to include 350 parks and green spaces with the 3-stream receptacles.
Residents in favor of the program, which the city is hoping will also reduce the amount of waste going to the landfill.
I'm hoping it'll help me for sure. I know I don't leave trash in the park, but I certainly have to stuff a lot in my stroller. So I will definitely be using them to put some of our trash away.
It just makes it cleaner for everyone, and it's for the community. So help each other out and just keep it clean for everyone.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. New data shows housing starts are down in Ottawa so far this year. According to the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, construction began on around 3,700 homes, apartments and condo buildings between January and May. That's down from more than 4,100 during the same period last year, a drop of 10%. Well, there are more than 600 families living in the city's shelter system. Staff say that's a 76% increase since 2023. One family has been in the system for more than 3 years. The city says the number of families moving out of shelters has decreased in recent years because of high rent prices and low vacancy rates.
We want to support local businesses, and the way that we can do that and the way that we can support the local community is by creating spaces like this. It makes the street more attractive, it makes the neighborhood safer, and it encourages people to come down and visit.
The city is expanding its Street Seats program to Chinatown. The outdoor spaces are meant to brighten up neighborhoods and allow people to enjoy the area. This new one in Chinatown has outdoor seating and a ping pong table. There are also locations along Bank Street in Centertown.
Carolina Hurricanes have won the Stanley Cup for the second time.
And the Carolina Hurricanes are Stanley Cup champions. They beat the Vegas Golden Knights 3-0 in Game 6 to win the series last night. First time they've won the Cup since 2006 when Rod Brindamore was captain. This year, Captain Jordan Staal is the guy who was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy as the most valuable player in the playoffs at 37, one of the oldest players to receive that honor.
Live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, it's a scam that has been around for decades. Criminals impersonate children or grandchildren to try and get you to pay bail money. But now artificial intelligence is making those scams harder to detect. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Neil asked us to shield his identity, but he wanted to share what happened to him to warn others. About a week ago, he got a phone call from someone claiming to be his son.
My son said, "Do you know who this is?" And I said, "Yes, it's Brian." He said, "That's right. I thought I was talking to him because it was his voice."
The caller said he had been in a serious car accident and was facing charges for talking on his phone while driving. A man who claimed to be his son's lawyer said he needed money or his son would spend the night in jail.
The lawyer said I needed to post bail of $6,000 to get Brian out of jail. An Uber driver arrived and I handed him the package with the $6,000 in it.
Neil says after he sent the bail money, he called his son the following day to check on him.
I happened to call Brian the next day and asked how the meeting with the lawyer went, and he said, "What lawyer?" And I said, "Well, what about the accident you were in?" He said, "What accident?" And then I realized that I had been scammed.
This is becoming a wildly popular way to scam.
Cybersecurity expert Jane Arnott says criminals now just need a small sample of a person's voice to clone it. They're then able to impersonate someone to sound just like them.
What they can do just by getting about 10 seconds of anyone's voice, they can recreate that voice to sound exactly like that person.
To avoid AI scams, don't post videos on social media, don't answer calls from numbers you don't recognize, have a family safety phrase or code word. In an emergency, call family members directly, never send cash, and don't be rushed to make decisions. Neil regrets losing $6,000, but says in the moment, he really thought the caller was his son.
Well, I can tell you that now they have managed to simulate that voice, and you believe it's real.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Quebec Premier Christine Frechette says she wants to set a new tone with English-speaking Quebecers. Here's CTV's Matt Gilmore.
Madame la Première Ministre, bienvenue à l'émission.
In a 15-minute sit-down with CJAD 800's Elias Makos, the Premier made her case to English voters.
I think that our government, first cares a lot about the English-speaking community, and we want to have a dialogue. And as you know, tone matters, and I want to have a positive tone.
If elected in October, Frechette says she would recognize the contributions of the English-speaking community.
We have important institutions, and I'm thinking about, for example, 2 world-class universities, Concordia and McGill. They contribute a lot to the society, and I think it has to be recognized.
She was not asked if she would reverse her predecessor's tuition changes that the universities have described as a direct attack on their finances.
So despite that promise of a new tone, your party almost immediately went after access to adult education in English.
On that, Frechette confirmed she will retable her failed bill to expand Bill 101 to vocational training if re-elected, but this time with consultation.
I think the process could have been improved.
On the issue of the OQLF and businesses using non-French words on signage, the Premier says she wants the office to adopt a new tone as well, referencing recent complaints against the STM, Burgundy Lion, and Arthur's Nosh Bar.
We have to take lessons from past experiences, and these are examples.
Christine Frechette on CJAD.
On the air after the interview, analyst Raphael Melançon and Jimmy Zubris debated whether her appearance on CJAD could move the needle.
I think it's not fixable.
I feel like she wants to show basically, we care, I personally care about you, and I want to have this discussion with you, even though in the end, strategically speaking, I might not win at it.
Listeners who called in weren't impressed with what they heard.
The bomb blew up for the last 8 years, and she's coming along and she's trying to pick up the pieces.
When a politician wants to get elected, they always open up the goodie bag and show us all the goodies that are in there. And guess what happens when they get elected? The goodie bag gets shut and you never see it again until election time.
Yeah.
CTV News requested our own end-of-session interview with Frechette and were denied. We also asked why the Premier only agreed to one English-language interview and did not hear back. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
When we talk about dementia as a whole, that it's all of the points on that timeline, not just the beginning diagnosis or the end-of-life care.
Coming up, a mission to streamline services for families dealing with dementia in this province.
Hey. CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video, upload it at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
Cyclists flooded Little Italy yesterday for the annual Preston Street bicycle races. Hundreds of people braving that rain to take part in the event, which marked its 52nd anniversary. It's the second longest bike race in Canada, with some of the top cyclists in the city taking part. The new task force is working to streamline dementia care in Ontario. It comes after years of complaints from families about a disjointed system. Here's CTV's health reporter, Pauline Chan.
For the past decade, Bruce Wood has been dealing with early onset dementia alongside his wife, former MP Lisa Raitt.
I knew the Ontario government well. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to turn. And it's that kind of gap in the system.
That's why she says the Ontario Dementia Task Force is so important for the 400,000 families dealing with this devastating condition.
I want to make sure that when we talk about dementia as a whole, that it's all of the points on that timeline, not just the beginning diagnosis or the end of life care.
Ontario spends $30 billion annually on dementia care. So it cannot be just a lack of funding here. We think the root cause has to do more with a lack of coordination and a lack of system pathways that do exist for other major conditions like stroke, palliative care, cancer.
The task force includes families, health services, policymakers, and more.
It's aiming to produce a series of recommendations over the next 12 to 18 months. And it would be in support of Bill 121, which is the dementia care bill.
The last thing a family needs is a list with 12 separate phone numbers on it for you to call to get 12 separate things that you need.
Saskia Sivananthan says with the advent of new drugs for use in early dementia, streamlining access to diagnosis and treatments is growing even more urgent. Rate talks of a recent moment when she spilled something while feeding her husband.
And he just kind of gave me this look like, "You're a moron, Lisa." And then we both laughed. It was a moment of shared recognition of a small thing that happened. And, you know, in that moment, I forget he has Alzheimer's.
She says there are still moments of joy for her and Bruce, and every family deserves to enjoy those moments without the burden of struggling with a fractured system. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
We have a brand new jersey that's being unveiled.
Well, coming up, a new look for your Ottawa Red Blacks on the field and in the stands this Saturday. Jackie.
Thanks, Patricia. Well, this season looking like seasonal temperatures for the rest of the week, about 23, 24 degrees. And yes, you will likely need your umbrella. We have a slight chance of showers in the afternoon for our Tuesday. Likely we'll see more isolated showers for our Wednesday. Meanwhile, Thursday, early forecast showing 10 to 15 millimeters of rain moving through eastern Ontario. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It's 17 degrees out there right now, a cool 17 degrees. And here's a look at downtown Ottawa, where the sun will be setting at 8:52.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford. Take your weekend path. We've got the Bronco Sport for it.
Tomorrow on Your Morning Ottawa, we get a preview of Jazz Fest kicking off this Thursday in downtown Ottawa. Tune in on CTV or stream us live on Crave at 6.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Well, here's what's on CTV tonight. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, Sullivan's Crossing, and American Ninja Warrior. It's a little cool out on the balcony. Jackie has moved inside now.
Yes, note to self, bring a jacket or actually check the weather before we go up on the balcony. Tomorrow is going to be a cooler start to the day, 13 degrees, mainly sunny skies. It will be very similar to what we saw today. There's a slim chance that we could see showers moving through the region in the early part of the afternoon. We are getting to a daytime high of 24 degrees. So given the wind, though, we are seeing gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour. It might be very similar to the temperature we're seeing today. Wednesday into Thursday, we are likely going to see a stretch of 23-degree weather. Thursday, we are banking on definite rain, so bring those umbrellas out. 10 to 15 is what the early forecast is showing. As you can see from that 7-day forecast, Patricia and Stefan, it will be quite some time before we see a clear sunshine day.
A truly dry day. All right, Jackie, thank you. Well, we want to check in to see what our news team is working on for tonight. Stefan Keys is on the desk at 11:30.
Thank you, Patricia, and welcome back. Tonight, we'll have a story focused on the impact of a lingering province-wide strike. Some of our viewers may recall us drawing attention to it on day one as OPSU members hit the picket line in Renfrew on May 25th. Well, this strike isn't over, and more Ontario families are coming forward to give testimony about how it's affecting them. These are workers who work with kids who have autism, and there are 4,000 of them in Ontario. The strike has forced schools and therapy centers to shut their doors, and families are certainly feeling the hardships of trying to make other arrangements. Full details from both sides of this equation tonight at 11:30. Patricia.
All right, Steph, thank you. And finally for us tonight, the Red Blacks have a new away jersey.
This is all about connecting the history of Ottawa football, Rough Riders, Red Blacks, Renegades, the colors, the bold R, if I can spin it a little bit, that appears on the helmet, the striping, which is synonymous with Ottawa football.
Adrian Sierra, the president of the Red Blacks, bringing out the mannequin this morning, unveiling that white jersey on CTV Your Morning Ottawa today. So players are going to wear these jerseys for the first time at home this weekend, even though it will be the new away jersey. So this is happening for Saturday's game against the Toronto Argonauts. They're asking fans to wear white for the White Out the Stands themed game. The team will also be handing out white rally towels, and I think a few fans might be throwing in the towel on the weather because, Jackie, did you not suggest that it might be a rainy day once again?
I wanted to take a double take on this. Is it going to be 30% chance, 60? We'll see. It's still early. Let's say that. Fingers crossed.
Things can turn around.
It was a little wet for the first game, the home opener, but I arrived after the worst of it, so maybe we'll just watch the weather and try and dip in and out. It will still be fun, especially if everyone is wearing white and participating.